If we really believe that somebody is important in our lives, we need to really make them feel that they are special. They need to touch that experience. They need to smell it. They need to feel it every day because you believe that they are important. And those are created by the moments, those moments that matter in their lives, that once they feel them, they go back and say, I really feel special because of the touch that comes from this person. So today, that's what I would like to talk to you about. My name is Potaki Hlalele from Dreams Made Possible. If it is your first time to visit this channel, may I kindly request you to subscribe so that we can build this community of dreamers. If you have been on this channel but you did not have the opportunity to subscribe, let me tell you that your click and subscribing to this channel is very, very important because it helps us to grow and it helps us to spread this message so that we can create better versions of ourselves, but create better version of the communities in which we live. Let's look at this concept of moments that matter. When you go to organizations, especially where customers are involved, organizations use the concept of moments of truth. And these moments of truth simply mean the journey in the life in the journey of the customer, which makes the customer to come back to the organization and buy. And then they don't just buy for the sake of buying. They buy because they believe that the organization understands them better and there's a connection that has been created. So when it comes to the people or employees within the organizations, moments that matter happens when the employees feel the warmth, they feel the connection, they feel the care, and as a result, they can go far to defend, to promote the organization that they work for because they believe that they are cared. So that concept of moments that matter or moments of truth, I will stay with moments that matter because those are the interchangeables that I would like to use for this particular lesson, are very, very important in our lives. And I would like to challenge you at a personal level and ask you, how do you create moments that matter for people that you regard as special in your life? You know, when I start coaching sessions and I ask my clients to determine their values, one of the things that comes top as far as their values are concerned is family. And if we say family is important in your life, how then do you create those moments for them? And here I'm talking about your partner, I'm talking about your spouse, I'm talking about your children, I'm talking about your siblings, I'm talking about your parents. Those relationships are very important. It's one thing to say my family is important, and it's another to make them feel and touch and believe that they are important in your life. So the moments that matter really require time and emotional investment in those relationships that you believe you need to cherish. Let me repeat it. Moments that matter require time and emotional investments in relationships that you cherish. So emotional moments of that matter are not about financial investment per se. Once you maximize finances and you want people around you to feel that you love them, then it's a transaction. It is not an emotional connection. I have heard many times guys saying, hey, I've bought my wife a house, what more does she need? I buy groceries every month. What more does she need? For you to nurture the relationship and really build these moments, it takes you pouring your soul. It takes emotional and spiritual connection with the people that you love. It is not loving at a distance, but it is being part of the game. It is being part of whatever that your family is doing. and you immerse yourself in those experiences. Distance is not going to build any moments that matter to the people that you believe or claim to love. So let's look at a few benefits why creating moments that matter is important in the lives of those that you love. The first one, you start to understand them better. You will never understand somebody from a distance. You need to be closer to them. You need to understand what motivates them. You need to understand what inspires them. So in that way, you start to understand them at a different level, which is the first point. The second point, it creates deeper connection. When you start to share more time with your loved ones, you start to understand their fears. You start to understand their doubts. You start to understand them at an inner level, and you start to have deeper conversations with them. Because when you don't know somebody, you sometimes discuss at a surface level, but once you become closer frequently, you build those deep connections. And that is a great benefit that creating these moments helps you, so that you can understand those that are close to you, those that you love, and you start to understand them much, much better. The third benefit is that you start to help build their confidence and self-esteem, especially where children are concerned. There is plenty of research that shows that the close relationship that especially the father or the mother or the parent have with their children starts to build confidence. But those children that feel deserted, they feel unwanted, their self-worth is challenged. But once you are closer to them, they start to feel more confident. They build self-esteem, and that is so important for the growth of any child. But this even extends to adults, because people are hardwired for connection and they always want to belong. The fourth element, which for me is also very, very important, time passes very, very quickly, and before you know it, your children are tomorrow teenagers. From teenager they are adults, and before you know it, they are out of the house. And when you look back, you find that I have missed so critical moments in their lives, and you start regretting for not spending time with them. Nonsense about this thing of people saying I don't have regrets, it's just the lessons. People feel shame and regret, and you don't want to find yourself in that space where you would not have spent the right time with your children. Or even parents. You know, when you go to churches, they will tell you that, or any other, especially in African spaces, where they'll tell you that, hey, respect your parents, spend more time with your parents. We don't want, after they have gone to be with the Lord, now you come into the graveyard and start making noise, crying, and say, oh daddy, oh mommy, if you were here, things could have been better. Whereas you haven't spent enough time with them when they were alive. So time passes quickly. Let's not underestimate the value of time and the importance of time in creating those moments that matter. Lastly, as far as benefit, it is the right thing to do. We are human beings. We are hardwired for connections. It is in our nature to belong. So why then do we work against our nature, which is belonging? And like I said at the beginning about values, that some people regard family as one of the most important values. So if family is important, do the right thing. Do the right things that are going to nurture, mold, and build the family. So let's look at a few things that you can do to start building these memorable moments for your family. It starts with life events. What are those life events in the life of your family that are important? Let's start with the basic ones, like the school. There are certain experiences that as a parent you cannot outsource. When the school arranges meetings and the sports events, you need to be there. I know that parents are working. I know that some parents are working at a far distance, away from their families, and that is understandable, you know. But we cannot always put work up front and say, I'm not able to attend the events at my child's school because I'm at work. Somebody asked on social media to say, hey, I see a lot of white people, and you'll understand this from a South African context. This has got nothing to do per se for race dynamics, but this is the reality. And the person, she was saying, you know, guys, I see a lot of white people during lunch. They say, hey, I'm going to fetch my child at school, and some would say, hey, my child has got rugby to play. I'll be at the school. And yes, don't get me wrong, there are black parents who are already doing it. But I think the message that she was sending out is that the white people do not compromise about that. It's something that they do not even negotiate at work environments. It's something that they do because it is important in the life of their child. And I'm just saying, in essence, please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm saying as a message is that let's make it a habit and a non-negotiable that will be at the events that are critical for the lives of our children. Our children get older, and they need us to build confidence, as I've already indicated during the benefits section. Think about it. Most children, when they are on the stage, if it's a concert at school or any other activity, usually they stand there and they start looking into the crowd, trying to see where their parents are. And once they spot their parent in that corner, you can start to see the smile radiating on their face. And that starts to build confidence and saying, at least there's somebody that I trust that is in this crowd. And from that, they will start to relax and perform in the best way that they can. As they grow older, our children go to university, they start to graduate. Let us be in those moments that are going to create more self-belief in them. We don't have any excuse for not being in those occasions, except if somebody has died, maybe in the family, I don't know. But create moments, push for those moments to happen. The other way in which you can create those moments, and let's still stay with family, as I had said that I'm going to talk about family from a value system. Date your family. Take your family out. Let it not be a surprise to children that it's only New Year's Eve. It's only at that time that you put a braai stand outside and then have meat to braai for them, which is barbecue for those who are not South Africans. Let it be a common thing in your children. Let it not come as one event in a year like a Christmas. Create those moments where you date them. And you don't have to have money to do these things. You just have to have time and a good heart to stay with your family. Take walks in the park with your family. Just take a walk with your family in the park. You know, when my children were growing up, and even now, I sit with them in a lounge and they watch a movie, even if it does not interest me much. I sit there and I ask questions so that I can start to understand certain things. Not that I'm just sitting there and be inauthentic to myself. No, I sit there with a view to understand and then create those connections with them. And I've seen that assisting our relationship to grow and grow. And here I'm talking about teenagers. And that is important to build this connection with them from time to time. Frequent communication is another way in which you keep connection with your loved ones if you are no closer to them at that point. For example, your children go out of the house, they stay at universities. I mean, pick up a phone, call them, and you know, once you do that, you start to see that it happens in reverse. They also start to call you back and just ask you, How are you doing, Dad? How are you doing, Mom? Because you have already inculcated this in their thinking and they paid back, and sometimes unaware, but it's because it's something that you have already built into their system. So communication is important when people are not around you. You connect with your siblings, you connect with your parents. Most of us, as we grow, we go out of the house, we go out of the cities, out of our environments, countryside, we come to cities. If you grew up in a city, you're no longer staying at home, you stay at another side of the city. Make it a habit to connect with your parents and your loved ones just by picking up a call, finding out, how did you wake up this morning? How is everyone doing? Those are critical moments. Moments are not just created by finances. But unfortunately, I see people who just call each other when they need finances. Hey, we don't have groceries, my child. Please call me. Because or you as a parent, you only call your children when you need finances, or vice versa. That is not a way to build memorable moments. It's a right recipe to build resentment, because people don't feel loved if they feel that they are just being used in this relationship. So emotional connection becomes very, very important. As I said, your parents are very important, and as they grow older, they feel lonely. It's only the two of them in the family if everyone has moved out, if there are no grandchildren. So it's very, very important that you create those moments with them. You don't want to regret once they have left, as I have said in the benefits section. So please make sure that you take advantage of life events, be it schools, be it universities, be it the weddings. Work with your family. Make sure that you communicate with them frequently. Date your family. Be in those critical events. It's not about the money. Money is important, but it should not be used as part of the transaction. There's some moments that you will never regret in your life. There's some moments that are going to strengthen this connection that you should have as a family. So go out there and create these moments that matter. As I close, let me just remind you and ask humbly to just subscribe on our channel so that we can grow this community of dreamers. I'm a life coach. I assist people to achieve, to understand, identify, and achieve their goals, to build their dreams. And all of these factors that I talk about, they intertwine to create a better version of ourselves. So please just check our email, check the program that we are sharing here that can help change your life. And let's set up a connect session on the Calendly link below, where we are just going to explore if coaching is what you need to start to move the needle in your life. Botaki Hlalele from Dreams Made Possible. Until the next episode, when we continue building life lessons, 101 life lessons for the future.